on anomalous objects near Earth. Renowned Swedish researcher Beatriz Villarroel is set to captivate the scientific community and the public with an upcoming report that promises to shed light on mysterious anomalous objects near Earth. Beatriz Villarroel's work continues to bridge the gap between traditional astronomy and the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Known for her bold exploration of extraterrestrial possibilities, Villarroel recently hinted at the findings in a cryptic X post on July 12th, stating, quote, "After 2 years of silence, a new paper is accepted. We looked where few have dared, and we didn't find nothing. Stay tuned." The announcement has sparked speculations, particularly given her track record of pushing the boundaries of astronomical research. This is a really interesting story, and I have to give a huge shout out to Pavel from Psychoactivo for turning me on to this back on Sunday. It's actually a few days old, but there have been some updates in the last 24 hours that are very, very interesting, and I want to share those with you. If you are not familiar with this story, that's okay. It's kind of been bubbling under the surface, and it's very, very interesting. Let's take a look at some links, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with Beatriz Villarroel, this is her page on the Soul Foundation website. She's on the Natural Sciences Advisory Board. It says Beatriz Villarroel is a researcher in astronomy at the Nordic Institute for Theoretical Physics in Stockholm. She leads the Vanishing and Appearing Sources During a Century of Observations, or VASCO project, and the ExoProbe project. The VASCO project searches for vanishing stars with the help of automated methods as well as a citizen science project. Among the most interesting results from the VASCO project are the findings of anomalous multiple transients of unknown origin. Remember that. ExoProbe, that is a recently launched project, aims to find and locate an extraterrestrial probe in the solar system. In 2012, Beatriz Villarroel received a Crawford Scholarship for Young Astronomers from the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences for her research about quasars. In 2021, Beatriz won the L'Oreal UNESCO for Women in Science Prize in Sweden for the VASCO project. In 2022, she was selected as one of 15 worldwide L'Oreal UNESCO for Women in Science International Rising Talents. In 2023, she gave a TED Talk in Zurich on the topic, Why We Should Search for Alien Artifacts. You heard some clips from that TED Talk at the top of this episode. In September 2023, she received Heterodox Academy's Open Inquiry Award for Courage. So a couple of days ago, she puts out this tweet, and let's see if I can find it. It says here, after 2 years of silence, a new paper is accepted. We looked where few have dared, and we didn't find nothing. Stay tuned. Now, if we look at some of the responses here, if you scroll down, you'll see I responded, does it rhyme with schmalians? And I have to point out that less than 60 seconds after I posted that comment, Beatrice liked it. So we got that going. What happened next is even more interesting. So Beatrice has a research partner named Dennis Åsberg. And Dennis Åsberg, you may remember from the Ocean, what is it? Ocean X? I want to say it's, let's see if I can bring this up for you. Hold on, I have too many links here. The Baltic Sea anomaly. There we go. The Baltic Sea anomaly. Now, this is not what Beatrice is actually talking about, but I'm explaining the setup here. So the Baltic Sea anomaly is a feature visible on an indistinct sonar image taken by Peter Lindberg and Dennis Åsberg and their Swedish Ocean X diving team. You may remember this. It looks kind of like the Millennium Falcon in a weird way. This is an artist rendering of what it might look like from a different angle. This was years ago. There was a lot of speculation on what this could be. But the guy in charge of this group is Dennis Åsberg. And Dennis tweeted a video of him responding to what Beatrice wrote in this tweet. Apparently, he's seen the data. He's looked at this. and he is freaking out for about 6 minutes straight in the original video. He is just like, I don't know what to do with this information. He's literally like, I can't tell you what it is, but it's so huge, it's so important that I have to say something, and I'm just like kind of having a moment right now. Now, what's interesting isn't that, well, the video itself is interesting because of the little breadcrumbs that he drops in there, and we're going to look at that in just a moment. But what's more interesting than that is that right after he posted that video, it went viral, and then he pulled it down. And when we look at his X account now, we can take a quick look here and look at the most recent comments here. He's posted, says, I have removed the film now. I have never experienced so much hate and threats in my life. All I want to do is prepare others for the big news, but also protect myself. Regardless, the news will be coming out in the near future. I'll say it again. This is not about the discovery in the Baltic Sea. This is about the astronomer, Dr. Beatriz Villarroel. That's right. We work together now. I won't quit, but I have others to consider. You'll understand when the report comes out. I will never be silent and I will continue no matter what happens. But now I will wait to say anything until the report is released. So, what is he talking about? Like, what is this all about? Well, I'm glad you asked. Our good friend Pavel over at Psychoactivo put together a video on this a few days ago. Pavel is super fast, and he put this video out. And not only did he put out a great video, which you should go to his channel and watch, but he pulled Dennis's original video, pulled the transcript from it, translated it into English, and then reposted it back inside this video. So if you want to watch Pavel's complete commentary, which I highly recommend, you should go here and check it out. I will link to it in the show notes. But please disregard the artificial voice. It's kind of clunky and weird and overly dramatic. But the content, that's the key here. Listen to what he has to say. I'm going to play this clip through. You'll hear Pavel break periodically for commentary, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Check this out.
So check it out.
Hey everyone, don't go away now, don't leave, don't swipe away from me. This is important, I have to say. I came home a little while ago after being at work at Stockholm University. I've been working with Beatriz, the astronomer, as you know. We work on that thing with BTC through this in the Baltic Sea.
That is the Baltic Sea anomaly investigation. He's part of the team alongside Dr. Villarreal. So that's what that is.
But Beatrice and I also work on finding life and intelligence out in space, especially near Earth.
Especially near Earth means low Earth orbit. That's their specialty.
When I got to work today, I mean, this new data is completely insane. I can't tell you everything right now. I can't do that for certain reasons because this has to be presented in a scientific way, as it is in that world. But I can say this.
So what he means there is that they saw the data, which is really recent. It shocked them, and they can't really talk about the details or the specifics because this is going straight to a scientific paper that I would say, presumably, Dr. Villarreal is writing at the moment. So that is my assumption.
I've never been as shocked as I was at work today. Both Beatrice and I feel a bit sick to our stomachs now. I can tell you that we now know things that very, very, very few people on Earth know.
They feel sick to their stomachs now. What kind of information makes you feel sick to your stomach? That's a really interesting data point.
And we've said, Beatrice and a few others have this scientific data to share. But what's going to happen now is that they're working on it right now to present it internationally later on. I'm doing this because I could, but I feel like, why not? I have information now, and now it's happened. In a scientific way, it's been calculated, analyzed, and checked back and forth constantly. And apparently, things are happening around us. And as I said,
When he says around us, I think he means around Earth. not just around them. It's around Earth.
A little while ago, I understand why this information shouldn't come out to humanity. It's absolutely unbelievable.
I don't agree with that at all. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's information that is sensitive about humanity, it needs to come out. We have a right to know.
Okay, I don't disagree with Pavel on this. However, I can see one scenario, at least one, where well, I can see at least one scenario where it makes logical sense to not tell people. And the scenario would be something like this. If you knew something bad was going to happen, if you knew something cataclysmic was going to happen in like 6 months' time or a year's time, if you tell people now, then they flip out and society convulses. There's a breakdown in order, and it causes ultimately more pain and suffering and chaos than if you just wait until the catastrophe happens and comes out of nowhere. If you announce the catastrophe in advance, you are also putting yourself as the government in a position where you have to respond to it. And if you cannot respond to it, if there's nothing you can do, then you're setting up a situation where you look completely helpless in the face of this thing. And that could lead, I imagine it would lead immediately to a breakdown in authority. And that could be a huge problem. So I don't disagree with Pavel in principle. I do think that if it's something that concerns all of us, we should know it. But I can understand from the vantage point of someone who's looking at it going, well, do you tell everyone and you let them go insane for a couple of months or weeks or days or whatever until whatever happens? Or do you just sit on it and you just let people deal with it in their own time? I don't know. This is just, we're spitballing here. But let's go back and finish the video.
And I get that you guys are going to do it in a scientific way through a paper, but why make that statement? That just doesn't make sense to me. People should know.
Now I know what it's about, and I wish I could tell you everything right now. I can't. I'm not allowed to. But I actually asked Beatrice. I mentioned this. She gave me approval to say this much. I can't mention what it's actually about, other than that it's a new scientific discovery that's been made, one that will shake things up properly. And I'm not joking. This is no bullshit. So stay on the lookout to find out more. As I said, Beatrice and I, astronomers at the university, this is something completely new, though they've been working on it for a while. But it's new data, new information, so incredible that you can hardly.
So that's a clue right there too, that they've been working on it for a while, meaning that it's possibly part of the VASCO project or the other project that they did, which is the ExoProbe project. But they did find new data over the last week or so. So what could that be?
Believe it's true. I've looked at the data and realized it's real, but I can't quite grasp it. Part of me can't believe it's been this way, maybe for a very, very long time. And this has nothing to do with the Baltic Sea object, nothing at all. This is probably something entirely different. So I know what it's about, and I'm obviously not scared, but still, damn cautious now. That's why I feel like maybe it's good to share something. But the true purpose of the whole thing, we'll discuss that later. As I said, now you know a little, but more will come. I promise, more will come.
If that's not the most dramatic AI voice ever, then I don't know what is. That's cryptic and definitely concerning, I think. What do you guys think? What do you make of that? That's a very intense set of statements. For about 6 minutes, he's just sitting there going, I don't know what to do with this information. We're sick to our stomachs. I can understand why they don't tell people about it. This is something is happening around us. Looks like this has been going on for a while, probably a very, very long time. So what could he be talking about? Well, Beatrice is involved in this project called the VASCO Project And my understanding of the VASCO project is that basically the idea is they take photographic plates that were shot of the sky prior to the satellite era, right? So pre-Sputnik. And you take those pictures of the sky and you compare them to pictures today, and you'll be able to see all of the new stuff that is now in orbit around the Earth that wasn't there when you took those photos. And by doing that, by making that comparison, you can spot anomalies that stand out for one reason or another and shouldn't be there. So that's my understanding of the VASCO project. The ExoProbe project, and this is very, very loose understanding. I've only been looking into this for about 48 hours, so I'm still getting up to speed on all of it. But my understanding is that the ExoProbe project is based on this idea that in our galaxy alone, there are enough planets that have the ingredients necessary for life that we should be swimming in intelligent civilizations. They should be everywhere. And if they are as frequent as the math suggests they could be, then it's at some point these civilizations will begin to develop technology to travel in space. They'll start sending out probes, and those probes will at a certain point be advanced enough to leave their solar system and go to another solar system. And then if you assume that they also are looking for other signs of life throughout the galaxy, it's not too complicated to figure out which areas have the highest concentrations of ingredients for life or the most likelihood of life being present, and sending probes out there. So imagine a scenario like this. A long, long time ago, an advanced civilization sends out a probe. They know that our solar system has the ingredients necessary for life. They park a probe here. It observes Earth. And then for thousands and thousands of years, life goes on. Everything's just happening normally, but we're constantly under observation as our society develops and grows and becomes more advanced. And then eventually we start uh, putting out radio signals. These probes would pick up on those technosignatures and contact their creators. And so the idea, I guess, that Beatrice is looking at is that there could be sort of a network of intelligent civilizations all throughout the galaxy communicating between each other using lasers or some other kind of advanced communications technology. And her concept is, instead of looking out into deep space and trying to figure out if there is a biosignature in the atmosphere of a distant planet, why not look in our own backyard? If we look in our own backyard, we might find non-human probes in orbit around the Earth, and we can do that search using existing technology for very little money, using proven techniques, and it can be a worldwide cooperative scientific project. So that's my basic understanding of what she's trying to do. If you look at her TED Talk, if you look at her website, if you look at like I've got a few of the links pulled up here. This is the Women in Science UNESCO L'Oreal Award that she's getting here. If you go to her website, it's very basic, but it's got everything kind of in here. Here's the VASCOproject.org website. Local probes and asteroids, pre-Sputnik satellites, vanishing stars. It's all kind of explained in here. There's the VASCO team. And if you look at the VASCO team, if you click that link and you look all the way down here at the bottom, look at that. Who's that? That's Chris Mellon. Way down here. Chris Mellon. So Beatrice is involved with the Soul Foundation. Chris Mellon is on the VASCO team. If you go to the VASCO blog, they explain in all these different blog posts kind of what they're doing. They actually have a response in here. This is a really interesting one on the Ukrainian UAP story that we talked about a while back. So this is interesting. I need to get in here and read this. So what do you guys think here? This is an interesting story. I'm following it now. I think that there is something definitely very weird going on here. As I said before, I when she posted that tweet, I replied, "Does it rhyme with schmalians?" And she liked it less than 60 seconds later. So I don't know. Maybe there's something there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this video. If you're not already a subscriber, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. It only takes a second, and it really does help the channel. It's a heavy lift to build this channel from scratch. I need all the help I can get. And if you really want to be cool, go to teamnightshift.com and check out some of our great merch. You can pick up a t-shirt, you can pick up a mug, a sticker, or you can just hang out. You don't have to buy anything. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Until then, keep looking up.